This conversation falls well upon the heels of the last, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want to be better at figuring it out or better at receiving the clear guidance? We really want to have this conversation because you all are, we love you so much. You know what's coming next. You all are often, sometimes nearly always, wanting to, well, we'll just say it, get credit for the ideas that you hatch. So that's why you say, I've got a great idea, instead of, ooh, I just received the best new amendment to an idea that's been in motion. So if you could just lay over the top of your creative process now, and we're giving this specifically to you right now.
Okay.
The understanding that we are all really in this together, and that you're proving nothing, but you're receiving with such clarity and such, as you said, momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the whole point of it is. It's not about getting there first, or it's not about getting there biggest. It's about being there to rendezvous and being the translator. It's like turning your receiver on. It's like the broadcast of what you've asked for and what you've created. So here's how it worked. You created it. It's done. It's in the vortex. And now it in its entirety is beaming a signal to you. You getting the signal? So when you start using words like, I'm now hearing, I'm now knowing, I'm now sensing, now you're more in the vibrational place that allows you to be in those receptive moments where the timing is just right. So if you can be unconditional in your awareness, evaluation of the co-creators who are coming, and trust that every single one of them has a piece of something for you, instead of trying to make them the whole enchilada, the whole big thing, don't drag them all home with you. Just let the universe deliver to you the co-creative properties. And in some cases, the momentum of them will be strong enough that you'll run together for a while. In some cases, it's just a momentary meeting where something about them lights something up in you and you light something up in them. See yourself as a receiver, receptor of inspiration, and just let the thrill of the ideas be what you're going for completely. Now, hear this. This is such a big piece. If we could convince you, and it won't take much because you're right there, if we can bring you all the way into knowing that what life always is just a series of more connects, instead of trying to make this connection the one that will take you all the way down the road into whatever you want. You hearing this? We're talking to you too. It's for the connection in this moment. It's for the feeling of this moment. It's the connection in this moment. In other words, you're just wanting to keep your receptors as receptive as they can be. That's co-creating at its best, you see. So when the co-creators come and you're playing with them and off of them, let it be that vibrational experience that you're having together. Sometimes you'll have an exchange with someone who will be a component that will cause you to activate something in yourself that is unlikely that you ever would have activated without them, and they don't even know the contribution they're making.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so you don't want to have to identify every piece that every co-creator is to you. That's why I want to bring you back to the understanding that it's already done, and it's beaming a signal, and you are receiving the signal about your path, a path that's always beneath your feet. So 100% of your work is to, I want to find the words so that you will never forget what your work is. 100% of your work is to enhance your receptivity. That's it.
Get out of your own way.
Enhance your receptivity, which means be as happy as you can be as rested as you can be having as much fun as you can have, feel as good as you can feel. You're wanting to enhance your receptivity. You're not trying to figure it all out. You're not trying to pick the best partners. The universe is picking them and sending them right to you in droves. You see?
Just say yes.
Just enhance your receptivity, and when it feels like a yes, say yes. Don't just say yes. When it feels like a yes, say yes. If the universe is sending it and you're in the receptive mode, it's a yes that nothing can keep you from. You see, the universe is sending it, but here's the thing. We want you to feel this more literal than you're feeling. We want you to feel all of us involved in the transmission, in the yes, 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 yes. So when you're in the vicinity, you feel it too. If you don't feel it, it's not because we're not yesing. It's because you're not in the receptive mode. Ooh. Ooh. Because the path is always lighted. The question is, where are you looking? The path is always lighted. That's why we're going to say it again. Your work, 100% of your work, certainly at this point, you got this.
I think I got it.
Is about enhancing your receptivity. So people say, what are you working on? Nothing. Why? Don't you want to amount to anything? No, I'm working on my receptivity. What does that mean? That means everything's lined up for me, and I just got to be in the right mood to receive it. Is it just going to drop into your lap? Well, it's going to come incrementally. It's going to feel like excitement, and it's going to feel like an idea. It's going to just be a steady stream of incremental yeses, enough to keep me happy for the rest of this life experience. And sometimes, still talking to our friend and to you, sometimes your quest to get somewhere puts you in a vibrational stance of not receptivity, because you're trying to get someplace that you can't figure out how to get, and now you're not receptive to what's being given to you right now. The path is always there for you. There's never a moment that Source and those of us who are tending to your vortex say, he's not paying attention, let's go out to lunch. The path is always lighted for you, so that in any moment that you reach receptivity, you're going to feel it. You're going to know it. You're going to say, yes. Yes. When you understand that there's a vibrational reality that you are wanting to realize, so you are the translator of the vibration into the reality. And once you get that your job is that translation. Esther became receptive to us because she meditated for 9 months, quieted her mind, got rid of all resistance, allowed her vibration to raise, and then there we were. It's the same about everything. Receptivity. Be receptive to abundance. When you're receptive to abundance, the idea of abundance sounds good to you, not scary. It sounds simple and like flow, not hard. In other words, just practice yourself into feeling the receptivity of what you want. But you got to feel it before you can receive it. You got to get there before you can translate. We like this conversation. It's the peace that many of you have been looking for. It's a practical, applicable peace. Someone asked us the best question ever, because it gave us an opportunity to give our best answer ever. This person said, how do you get rid of fear? Or how do you get rid of doubt, was her word. How do you get rid of doubt? And we said, horrible answer. We said, you get rid of it before it starts, which is just totally annoying. Because if I've got it, how do I get rid of it? Well, you get rid of it before you got it. But there's such power in that answer, because once you have enough momentum going, because you've been receptive enough that you are translating something into thoughts that feel uncomfortable, there's usually enough momentum going that unless you catch it really early, trying to not think it is just going to cause you to think it all the more. There's a war against poverty, a war against drugs, and a war against crime, and a war against terrorism, and all of those wars are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, because that's the way law of attraction works. And so it's a better approach to acknowledge that when you sleep at night, momentum stops, and when you wake up in the morning, you can begin it where you want to, and that it's logical that you would begin it in this naturally high, pure, positive vibration. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't work too hard at trying to stop ourselves from, oh, I wasn't going to think about that. What? That thing that I keep thinking about. I'm not going to think about that anymore. What? That thing that I'm not going to think about anymore. Well, what thing? Well, I wasn't going to talk to you about it, but that thing that I keep thinking about. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's that. It's that thing. It's that thing. So you just don't want to think about that thing that you're thinking about. I'm not going to think about that thing that I'm thinking about, but that thing that you're thinking about that you don't want to think about just becomes an obsession after a little while, because law of attraction is a very responsive to vibration mechanism. And so rather than trying not to think about it, which for sure is going to cause you to think about it, you want to start your day with plenty of things that you are thinking about that feel good. You can become someone who just generally finds those good feeling things, but it takes a little practice. And the most important thing is, don't tense up about what you are thinking about. Look for the value in whatever thoughts are coming. Say to yourself things like, well, this must be my point of attraction, and I'm not sure right now whether it's a bad thing or a good thing that I'm receiving about this, but it's no big deal because I've got control over the thoughts that I think, and law of attraction is my friend, and I've got this guidance system, and it's no big deal. And just don't become fitful or too thoughtful about what you're thinking. In the early days, we called this gathering the science of deliberate creation. The science, because it's continuing to evolve, of deliberate, because you're doing it on purpose, creation, because you are the creator of your own reality and you can't stop no matter what. You just can't stop creating your own reality. But there was something about the science of deliberate creation. We said, you get what you think about whether you want it or not. And people loved that idea and then hated that idea. They got freaky about it. They would say things like, cancel, cancel, cancel. Cancel, cancel, try to suck the thought back before law of attraction gets hold of it. And that was when we began talking about the art of allowing, which is the art of receptivity. The art of allowing what? The art of allowing your alignment with who you really are. The art of allowing your connection to who you really are. The art of allowing yourself to be the receiver of the ideas and inspiration and progress and momentum. The art of allowing yourself to see your path. The art of allowing the joy and the fun and the clarity and the worthiness that is really who you are. The art of allowing you to be here in this moment. Most of you are not just you, most humans are not allowing the fullness of who they are. Your animals, those furry little beasts, they are, for the most part. Look at them. They're full of themselves. They're not trying to get your approval, and if they are, that's a really sad thing. They're not trying to get your approval. For the most part, they are extensions of source. And you call them instinctual. You say, oh, they have instinct. We say they have receptivity. That's not instinct. That's not some memory bank that they're tapping into. That's not built into their DNA. That didn't come with their genes. They came with big-time hiccups. In other words, they don't think like humans. Good for them. They don't micromanage, and they don't overthink things, and they don't struggle with things. They just be. They just be. They just be in the most receptive mode that they can be in most of the time. If you have the privilege of being around some of them, especially those in the wild, those are the best. They're not trying to get your approval. Esther went up to the top of the treehouse, face to face with a fox. She said, hey. Fox said, hey. Esther said, what are you doing up here? The fox said, what are you doing up here? Esther said, I'm going to leave you to your tree house. The fox said, that's just the way I thought it would come down. So you no longer care about being right, because really, you're not being measured against all of the other righters and wrongers in the world, and then you're being rewarded based upon your degree of rightness. Ooh, where do you get this stuff? You are pure positive energy, focused here and now, allowing a little bit or a lot of all that you are to explore and receive the perfection of this moment, you see. So what were you talking about?